fashion has had to constantly evolve. But the industry radically changed in the 1990s when brands like Zara, H&M, and Topshop led the way with what we now know as fast fashion. They mastered the process of taking expensive clothes that were on the catwalk and mass-producing them in as little as 3 weeks. Fashion had never been this cheap and accessible before.
And Paris right here, those eyes.
Then, at the turn of the century, online-only giants like ASOS and Boohoo took this model to the next level, shortening production time to as little as a week. Industry experts call these online-only brands ultra-fast fashion. And now we're in a new era, real-time retail. And this era's leader, well, it's a Chinese company called Shein.
It is very fast and the products are updated much more frequently and at a higher volume than any other fast fashion brand.
In April 2022, it was reported the fashion startup was worth $100 billion, which would make it more valuable than H&M and Zara combined.
Guys, I placed a $500 Shein order and it came in the mail.
Y'all, the Shein package that I was waiting for arrived, so let's open it.
So let's dig. How did Shein beat these fast fashion outlets at their own game? Shein is a very secretive company and shares little publicly about its origins. And as I learned through my reporting, it was pretty much impossible to connect with a spokesperson for the company.
The CEO and founder has only been seen a couple times, and yeah, it really keeps an air of mystery.
This mysterious CEO is Chris Xu, a former digital marketer experienced in search engine optimization, or SEO. Even though Shein states it was founded in 2012, several sources say its origin story actually began in 2008 in eastern China. That's when Xu and his business partners founded Dianwei, an e-commerce business that reportedly sold everything from knockoff goods to wedding dresses. It was here that Xu seemingly refined the business model that would eventually launch Shein to success. In 2011, Xu and his partners parted ways, and the domain that would become Shein was registered. Investment began to pour in, and so did sales. At the same time, the world was being transformed by a 5-ounce device, the iPhone, and China's growing middle class played a huge role in the smartphone revolution that followed.
All of a sudden, everybody is getting smartphones, and so the majority of Chinese kind of skipped the computer phase, and the introduction to the digital world was really through the smartphone.
China overtook the US to become the world's largest smartphone market. This phenomenon fueled the rise of e-commerce platforms in the country such as Alibaba, JD.com, and, of course, Shein. But unlike most of China's e-commerce giants, Shein wasn't interested in Chinese customers.
Shein's focus is entirely on the outside world. And so if Shein were to target just the Chinese audience, it is actually a much more saturated market and wouldn't be able to compete in terms of speed and price.
Shein's Chinese roots gave it another advantage too, a rich understanding of data and how to use it. As a mobile-first country with lax privacy laws and the largest population in the world, collecting user information was easy. This created the perfect foundation for developing rigorous algorithms. It had collected an enormous amount of data through its shopping app and had developed a system to score websites like Etsy, Instagram, and Google for fashion trends.
So at this stage, I think Shein definitely has a first mover advantage by its big data analytics system, which enables like pretty early identification of some trends emerging from online. So I think that's one of the critical key success factors of Shein.
In the same year, Shein shifted its supply chain operations center in the Panyu district in Guangzhou, a major clothing manufacturing hub.
Their office in Guangzhou is in close proximity to their factories, and so it really sped up the communications.
Over time, the company's reputation for making timely payments to suppliers, factories that would normally accept orders of a minimum quantity, were eager to take on Shein's orders.
We will call it small order, quick response. Shein places order in smaller batch, and then it is able to quickly adjust it based on the market performance. The suppliers will just produce 100 to 500 items as the first batch, which will take around only 3 to 5 days to produce. If we compare that with the traditional fast fashion players like Zara, usually it will produce over 100,000 items. So by placing small order, Shein could react pretty rapidly based on the sales performance.
These products are then shipped directly to consumers from China. This cuts out middlemen and expensive import tariffs. While the pandemic was devastating for most of the clothing industry, it was good for Shein. Its sales generated an estimated $9.8 billion in 2020 and $15.7 billion in 2021, and Shein was shipping to most countries in the world. In 2021, it overtook Amazon to become the most downloaded shopping app in the US, and these users were spending a lot of time on the app. But it hasn't been all smooth sailing.
One of the downsides of using data is that it can sometimes see that, a particular blouse is wildly popular on a e-commerce platform. Well, what if they just recreate the blouse in a cheaper way?
Several smaller designers have taken to social media, alleging that Shein has stolen their designs.
This top, it's a knockoff of my silk lace cami. It's exactly the same, and they're selling it for $10. This is the original design.
And it's not just the independent designers. Shein has been sued by Doc Martens and Levi Strauss for copying their products and selling them at a fraction of the price. It has been reported that Shein removed from sale some of the allegedly offending designs, and it has been reported that they have paid certain designers a settlement in relation to copyright infringement claims. Shein's ability to produce clothes at a rapid pace has also raised questions from watchdogs about the working conditions of its production lines. Its manufacturing process remains shrouded in mystery. Shein told the BBC it has a strict supplier code of conduct and that it takes immediate action if non-compliance is identified.
It has a lot of lack of transparency, and so this is potentially problematic for Shein because if it wants to gather investments, then it really has to come clear and people really need to have peace of mind about what is happening at the company.